buckle down here and get ready for Grixis Twin versus Abzan. Take a look at the game state here for Spencer. He's got some lands on the battlefield, all colors of mana available. He's also got a flipped Jace and a Deceiver Exarch. For Ryan Rolen, looks like colors of mana are not an issue here for him. He's got a Dromoka's Command on the stack, a Kitchen Finks, and a Birds of Paradise. It looks like Spencer is responding to this Dromoka's Command, at least to the best of his ability. No, it looks like Kitchen Finks is going to get the job done there on the Deceiver Exarch. Tarmogoyf's going to go to the graveyard. And now we're going to move forward, I believe, with Spencer's turn. Though Spencer does not have very much life. You see that he is at 3.
Well, it looks like he's got a path here to use the Exarch on Kitchen Finks and untap and twin.
Well, if that's the case, life is good.
Yeah.
There's Exarch. Shut her down. Ryan Rolen, did you maybe draw a Siege Rhino? You're just going to pass the turn back. It's a Godless Shrine. Well, if you're Spencer, sometimes your hand is a little bit forced in instances like this, though this is a nice way to do it.
Yeah, you can call Gon's command first, get the last card out of the hand.
Assuming he has a land that, you know, comes into play and everything.
And if Roland had ripped a removal spell there for the Exarch, he could have plus Jace and give himself another draw step.
Sure, get some more time.
Right, so just a safe play there, no reason not to do it, and Roland drew a blank, so an easy win there for Garnier.
Grixis Twin up a game here over Abzan, which means we're going to go to the sideboards, and we will start with Ryan Rolen in his Abzan deck. He's got a Kusali Pride Mage, a Scavenging Ooze, 2 Abrupt Decays, and Engineered Explosives. Stony Silence, Lingering Souls, Timely Reinforcements to go along with 3 Fulminator Mages, 2 Thoughtseizes, a Zealous Persecution, and a little bit of Affinity Hate here in Creeping Corrosion.
So I think you want a mixture in this matchup of things to fight the Twin combo and things to fight a long game, because sometimes the Twin deck just sideboards into a control deck. So cards like Thoughtseize that are good against the combo and just good in long games, I think are good for Roland to bring in the matchup. I consider bringing in the extra copies of Abrupt Decay to ensure himself against the combo a little bit. And I don't mind having more of his sort of slower late game cards, things like Scavenging Ooze and Lingering Souls, because it's likely that Garner is just moving into more of a control deck.
What do we see on the other side here?
3 Leyline of the Void, 3 Dispel, an Olivia Voldaren, a Thoughtseize, a Kolaghan's Command, a Keranos, God of Storms, a Grimlavamancer, a Dismember, 2 copies of Anger of the Gods, and a Magus of the Moon. I think Magus of the Moon, Anger of the Gods, Dismember, Grimlavamancer, Keranos, Thoughtseize, Olivia, all solid cards here. Garner can become much more of a control deck here. He can keep in some amount of the combo if he wants it, but I think he's more likely just to get some of his inefficient counter spells out of the deck. He has some things like Spell Snare and some low impact cards like Remand, not very good in this matchup, so he can keep some of the combo intact and become more of a control deck.
Well, these players will shuffle up here for game number 2. Ryan Rolen will be on the play, and we'll talk about our Season 2 Invitational Champion, Alion Trazi, and his fantastic Angel token with his son Aiden in it. We're going to see him at the Players' Championship. Now, there's not a lot of time left to get this thing because, well, we got another token coming down the pipeline there since Alex Pistecki did win our Season 3 Invitational, but here are a couple ways that you can go about getting this token.
Yeah, you can register for any of our 2-day $20,000 Open Series events. It's also something given to everyone who registers for a 5K Premier IQ, both the ones we run here Sundays at the Opens and ones that you can bring to your local store. And any order from StarCityGames.com, $5 or more, will come with this token. But again, Alex Pistecki's token is coming down the pipeline soon, so if you want to get your hands on Alion Trazi's token, not much time remaining. Either register for one of our large events or place an order from StarCityGames.com today.
And do want to congratulate Alex Pistecki on his win of the Season 3 Invitational. Very impressive stuff, beating Steve Mann in the finals, and he's headed to Roanoke at the end of the year to play for his share of $50,000. Heck of a tournament for him.
One of the, if not the best comeback I can recall in Invitational history.
Just an insane match between him and Steve Mann. Steve Mann up 2 games, Pistecki mulliganing a 6 in game number 3. Certainly getting a little bit frustrated. You could even see it, his facial expression on camera, where he almost gave up there. I really felt that way.
Not necessarily gave up, but you could certainly see he thought this could be over, and in a pretty frustrating fashion.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like he was ever going to get to actually play any games.
Yeah.
Because he had mulliganed once the first game, twice the second game, mulliganing again. It's easy to kind of just throw in the towel, but he fought all the way back. And a heck of a game 5, too.
Yeah, that was a great match.
So it looks like he's going to go with a Germ token.
Okay.
So you know.
Which is interesting. I mean, the consensus was the winner's just taking a Thopter.
Yeah, big. You know, this is a big misplay by everyone.
There's already a pretty iconic germ.
There is.
In the Star City Games portfolio, that of Brian Bronduin.
But it's a winner's choice.
It's his choice.
Winner's choice. I'm just saying, if you want as much camera time as possible, you
Right.
snap off that Thopter token.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere for a while.
You did very well for yourself getting a Goblin once Goblin Rabble Master came back.
Purely on accident. Purely an accident that the Goblin token is that popular. And Rabble Master's going to be leaving soon.
Yep. I mean, when you made that token, it was probably for things like Mog War Marshal and Siege Gang Commander.
It was mostly for blocking Tarmogoyf.
Mostly for chump blocking Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, that's basically what the token was for. Just dying a lot. But if I won an invitational, I still want the Master of Waves token, just because I think it would look cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want a little shine on the camera, Thopter me up.
Yeah. And you don't know, there could be more Thopters coming down the pipeline.
I think there might
It
be.
may not be the end of it.
I hope there are. It's a pretty cool. I like what they've done actually with that. I think Thopters are like a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, they're fun.
They kind of come and go, but I think they're pretty cool.
And, you know, the blue-red artifact stuff gives you this very, you know, sort of, they do a very good job of communicating this sort of wacky engineering kind of flavor in a lot of those blue-red artifact designs. So it feels cool.
Maybe bring back the old Steam Flogger boss?
Probably not.
No, you don't.
I think that one was a mistake.
From your favorite file? Old Future Sight? Yeah. I'm going to have to really take a long look at that at some point.
I think someone opening up the booster pack, peeling that back and seeing it as their rare, getting excited for what that implies, and then finding out, no, that's basically a joke R&D played on you. I think you can do something more positive with a rare slot in the average file.
What was the format of 3/3?
It was.
So, at the very worst, you got yourself a Hill Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hold on a minute. Other rigor creatures you control get +1/+0 and have haste?
Go with Mutavault.
You know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Changelings?
Yep.
Okay. So this has got a little bit more play than you think. I'm going to check the creature type on Moriok rigor really quick.
Just see if it's I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either, but...
Which is a real disappointment.
Yeah. It's a real shame if it's not. That's just bad design.
Right. Call that backwards compatibility.
Lost to this card a lot. Human Rogue. Just come on.
Yeah. We can't get the errata. We gotten so many creature type erratas back in the day when they cleaned all that up.
Yeah. I'm coming after R&D for this one. I feel like I really got no choice.
Yep. If a Bujafar is no longer a leper, then certainly Orihawk Rigger could become a rigger. It's in the
It's in the name.
It's in the name of the card.
If a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, it assembles two two contraptions instead. That's just,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
It seems like something that would be cool if it existed, but it doesn't because, you know, Future Sight, that's just the kind of thing they did.
Check out the design file sometime, folks.
It's great.
It's a heck of a file. I know Char Rumble your favorite, but
Char Rumbler's really great. Bridge from Below. Bridge from Below having a mana cost is really great.
I've cast it before.
Just devotion. You had like a Grey Merchant or something.
I needed to gain 4 life with Nature's Claim, so I cast it. See if Rolen likes his opening hand here. He'll be on the play.
And then it's in the graveyard, so it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I'm +4 life, and it's right where it needs to be.
Just dread return my Grey Merchant. 3 more.
We got a stew going.
Oh yeah. A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Rolen going to start with a Verdant Catacombs. He's down at least 19. We'll see how low he wants to go.
Someone claiming now that Orihawk Rigger actually has been eroded.
Oh, yes. Twitter, I love you.
In which case, my next Modern Open, the deck I'm playing, already determined.
Changeling Riggers.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mutavault.
Here's a Thoughtseize. We got a Snapcaster Mage, an Inquisition, a Kozilek. Let's make it 2 Snapcasters. Kolaghan's command. Got a Deceiver Exarch, a couple of lands over there.
This hand's pretty vulnerable to, just something like a Tarmogoyf, but this is a solid collection of cards here if Garnier is settling in for a longer game.
I don't think there's going to be too much quick about it. So let's get ready. Rolen will take this information down. He's down to 17 from the Thoughtseize and the fetch land. And now he's got to make a selection. Could take the discard spell so he can hide the contents of his hand, maybe Deceiver Exarch, because that one's always scary. Can't really break up the Snapcasters, though one less Snapcaster is pretty nice.
Yeah, if he thinks the game is going to go on for a long time. I think Inquisition is reasonable if Roland's hand is either very threat light or if he's trying to push through a particular 2-mana card. If he has Tarmogoyf, I think Inquisition's very good here.
Looks like he might be going with the discard spell. And he decides Snapcaster Mage. We'll see if this comes back to hurt him or not, because, well, we're going to get to see his hand. Spencer will draw. Jace is the draw. Always a good one.
Yeah, that really glues this hand together. It's looking for land drops and more stuff to put in the graveyard.
Heck of a Magic card. Starting to really make its way into Modern here. Grixis is the initial home, but I think it'll branch out a little bit more.
Ooh, I think Ryan might have been doing a little Hollywood in the last turn. I think his hand is just 3 lands and a Smiter. So this Inquisition is going to
No.
Someone alert Brian Kibler. This is his favorite thing in Magic.
I will Inquisition you. I want this more than anything. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Best of SCG Live.
Oh, there it is.
Thanks for the help, man. And picking up Abrupt Decay.
Pretty good draw.
Bonk. Down to 13.
Good draw step in the face of that Jace.
Truly awesome. Your turn. You're going to take 2 more to play that Jace. Down to 11. Yeah, that's probably dead.
Yep.
Bang.
Good draw step.
What's next? Thoughtseize. Sure, take a look.
Not shabby.
Yep. In for 4 more. Let's see what Spencer has now. This game is great. Exarch 2 snaps Kolaghan's command. Probably Exarch?
Yeah, probably Exarch.
It's the most annoying of the bunch.
It's the thing that gives Garnier a path to win the game.
Yeah.
For the now, he's just chump blocking with Snapcaster Mages, but he could just rip off some lands and chump block for a while, find Splinter Twin and kill you that way. So now he's chump blocking and has nowhere to go.
They pick up a copy of Deceiver Exarch for the draw step.
Lockdown Spider is among my favorite cards to make fun of, but it does have its moments of being great. Not that the card's low in power, it's just, the king of the casual room.
It really is.
You should be able to put it into play for free if your opponent blows up one of your lands also. Can't be countered, put it directly into play off discard, and if you get Stone Rained by an opposing effect.
That'd be a heck of a card there.
Yeah.
Here's Snapcaster Mage. There's a block. Here comes Voice of Resurgence.
Pretty good against someone who has to chump block with flash creatures.
Yeah.
This is a great set of draws here from Rolen.
Yeah, now you just got to play Snapcaster Mage straight up. Yeah, can't play it on your turn, because then you'll get a token. Another Voice.
Great.
Beatdowns. There's a block. Elemental token to be made, so long as Rolen does remember his trigger. So there is the Elemental. Now back up Voice of Resurgence. If I was Spencer, I'd be a touch frustrated with how this game went.
No way. He's the griefy one with a discard spell in his deck.
He's going to concede the game.
Yeah! Yeah!
Ryan Rolen is going to win game number 2 here over Spencer Garnier. Abzan and Grixis twin getting ready for
Smiter.
Game number 3. King of the Casual Room.
Oh, where's your counter spell? Oh, that's right. That doesn't work. Play with some creatures with a lot of power.
You're gonna need to design. You need to design some Magic cards soon.
So great.
That's what we need from you.
So great.
I'm just glad that you're happy.
Yeah.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
When I say make fun of the Smiter, it's not. The Smiter is a reasonably powerful tournament Magic card. I'm not claiming otherwise. It's just, most of the decks that it goes into are kind of, I like a little offense, I like a little defense, a little mix of this, a little mix of that. Decks I'm not typically drawn to, so. But it does have moments of being great, and that was one of them.
Spider just looking good there.
Yep.
Just got his hammer in hand and just beating Spencer down.
Yeah. And he's beating Spencer down because Spencer deserved it. Because he was playing with cards. Because he was playing with cards that was trying to prevent Ryan from playing with his cards.
The ultimate punishment.
And that's when the Smiter does the good work.
Gotta give Ryan Rolen some credit there with the Hollywooding.
Yeah.
That was good. That was actually pretty good. We're going to talk about the Summer Creature Collection here with Star City Games very briefly. We got playmats, we got sleeves, and we got bundles of some game night favorites.
Yep. You see the Summer Creature Collection here. The Piglet, the Kraken, the Monkey, and Deathbright Salmon. All this available, playmats, sleeves, and bundles over at starcitygames.com/creature collection, or head over to our dealer booth at any of the Grand Prix we're vending at or any of our opens.
Now keep in mind, summertime's almost over.
Yeah, we're winding down.
It's almost time for the Autumn Creature Collection, which will involve the Hippo.
Yeah, Otter von Bismarck.
Otter von Bismarck.
And whatever hilariously named animal we got coming down the pipeline for December.
And the Pun playmat, which we have no idea what that's going to be. I'm not even hiding that one from Patrick. I actually don't know what's going to be either. So, StarCityGames.com/creature collection for the Summer Creature Collection. Autumn Creature Collection coming soon as we get ready here for game number 3. Somehow it's September, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. Starting to get a little chilly. No, it doesn't get chilly in Los Angeles, probably.
Yeah, it's 75 degrees and sunny like it is every other month of the year.
And smog-filled air.
Not really.
It's disgusting. Starting to really, so Seattle in July and August, it's pretty warm. And then like as soon as September hits, it just shuts down.
Yep.
It starts to get a little chilly and you get to break out the hoodies. I don't know if you're much of a hoodie guy,
I
but hoodie weather is great.
I am.
Starts to rain a little bit more, leaves blowing. It's just a great time of the year.
Yeah, that's not how it works in LA.
What's Jersey like in the fall? Does it get pretty cold?
It cools down. The fall and spring are really pleasant, but once you start hitting towards the middle to end of October, it starts getting kind of cold.
It's been really warm here, actually. I know you had to go through the thunderstorm thing, but when I got here in Cincinnati before that happened, it was like 90 degrees.
Yeah. Forget how weather is in most parts of the world when you live in Southern California.
I understand.
The Smiter.
Bonk. Just being used as intended there.
Yeah.
And I think Kibler's got to be thrilled with what just happened.
Oh yeah, the free Smiter. I usually, anytime it happens, I usually get a text. So someone alert him.
That in and of itself is completely absurd.
Yeah, it is his favorite thing.
And the worst part is I just know it's true.
Yeah. He loves a free Smiter.
Got somebody else. I wonder how he feels about Wootleaf Leech.
Oh yeah.
That's got to be a real biggie for him.
Loves it. I'm surprised he hasn't made a deck that's just, Wootleaf Leech, Dodecapod,
Smiter.
Guerrilla Tactics.
Ooh, hello. It's got to be some more. I bet there's another effect that.
I believe there's one in Legends that's deal 1 to a player for blue, or deal 5 if it's like a blue Guerrilla Tactic.
It's a blue card?
I think so. I think this exists. I might be messing up the specifics of the card, but I think there's a blue Guerrilla Tactics in Legends.
Hashtag SCG Live, or excuse me, hashtag SCGCIN at SCG Live. Help us out here. Blue deal 5?
I think it's deal 1 to a player or 5 if you're forced to discard it, if I recall correctly.
Okay, you would know better than me. That seems like an egregious design.
It's not even in the bottom half of bad designs in Legends.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
I believe you. I don't know the Legends file very well.
It's rough, and there's a lot of cards. It's a really big set.
Ryan may be thinking keeping 6 lands, Smiter.
Just hope.
Yeah. It looks like he's got.
Hope that Garnier cooperates a little bit.
Looks like he's got quite a few spells in hand here, including
Helps him out.
including a Noble Hierarch.
You know what this hand is vulnerable to, though?
What's that?
Counter spells and discard.
It's true.
So it's a risk that Rolen is taking here. He did not have in game 2.
A big mistake.
Big mistake.
He'll search up a basic forest.
I think it's psychic something. I don't know. I could just be imagining a card. That happens sometimes too.
You are kind of old. Things will just come in and out of that brain.
Psychic Purge.
Psychic Purge?
Yeah.
All right.
Spencer here with another very unfair seeming hand of both Snapcaster Mages. Yeah.
That's the worst artwork I've ever seen.
So show Count Dracula or something. I don't know if that's Count Dracula or like a cosplaying Dungeon Master. It's one of the two.
So first of all, you get to deal 1 damage to any target.
Okay.
Sorcery speed.
But if it's 1 deal 1 to anything,
Yep.
but if they make you discard it, it's 5 only to a player.
Oh, okay. No flexibility.
Unpreventable.
Yeah, don't even think about
Yeah.
preventing it. Nice. That is nice.
So anyhow, you just put that in your Smiter deck too, and then you're really good against Inquisition. Mind Rots, no good.
Really actively bad.
Yeah, Kolagon's Command, whatever. So just put this Spider into play or deal 5 to you. Tactics one of your creatures, put a Dodecapod into play. Dodecapod and Wealthleaf Leaves are not great in the same deck, but
Maybe not. Maybe.
we'll work out the details.
We'll work out the kinks. Here's a swamp for Rolen. What's the follow-up here for Ryan? He's got 3 mana. And a Fenza. That one can be countered.
Yes.
But no counterspell here for Spencer. So he'll just sacrifice a Scalding Tarn. We'll see what land he wants to search up. No, Spencer is under the gun here. And a fence is no joke.
I think Spencer's hand looked very good. I think there's a Dismember to go along with the Snapcaster Mages.
That would be good for him.
And not even Loxodon Smiter, so invincible in game 2, can withstand that kind of removal.
It's tough. Tough to work through that. There's Dismember. Spencer only has to take 2 to cast it.
Yeah.
Going to pay 1 black, 1 Phyrexian mana, and then 1 colorless mana with the mountain. So Inoffensive will bite the dust. Head back Garnier's way. Tassiger, the draw, could put the 4 or 5 on the table right now.
Well, with Snapcaster Mage in hand, I'm not touching the Dismember in the graveyard.
Yeah.
If he's got a fetch land, and you get to keep the Dismember in the graveyard, I'm all about it. But Snapcaster Mage plus Dismember, you know, I think Rolen, if he had something like Lingering Souls, we probably would have seen that on the second turn of the game. So if his hand's just creatures that can be targeted, Dismember is too good to give up.
There's Blood Crypt. It looks like he's just going to pass the turn back. Pestermite going to slow down Noble Hierarch. Maybe setting up for a little twin action here. As we mentioned a little bit earlier in the weekend, it is very stressful to play against this deck. Yep, there's Tarmogoyf. Razor Verge, they could pass the turn back. Beatdowns. Rolling going to fall to 16. There's a Scalding Tarn. Tarmogoyf currently a 3/4.
Rolen here with a very land-heavy hand, and one of the spells he has, I believe, is Path to Exile, which is not what this game is going to be about, most likely.
Here's Snapcaster Mage. You mentioned you like this quite a bit because of the Dismember in the graveyard.
Yep.
Maybe not? Okay, gonna start by sacrificing that.
Yeah, I think that Garner wants to have the opportunity here to play the Dismember for 2 mana again.
Yeah.
Save himself some points.
That's a little bit better. Gonna target Dismember, get this Tarmogoyf out of here. keep trucking on along, it appears. Right now, Roland's hand very, very land heavy. So Dismember going to go after Tarmogoyf. -5, -5. Yeah, that'll take care of it. Rolen might have something to do on the end of turn. It looks like he does. Maybe an Abrupt Decay here.
I think it's going to be Scavenging Ooze. Go after Garner's graveyard a little bit here.
Can also grow an Ooze to a 4/4 right now to fade Lightning Bolt.
Yep.
Which I kind of like as a play. And just pass the turn back.
I think he's trying to work here with maximum flexibility. The issue, of course, is that he's opening up a window for Tasigur to resolve.
Yeah. Here comes Pestermite. And Spencer's going to take the opportunity to get Tasigur on the battlefield right now, which I think you should do in the face of that Scavenging Ooze.
It's at least something for Ryan to do with this Path to Exile.
Yep.
The rest of Spencer's threats are a little anemic, although it does expose him to Splinter Twin coming off the top and killing him.
Yeah, you know, you're getting pulled in a couple different directions now with that path where you do want to save it for the Pestermite, but you also want to maybe use it on the Tasigur, or heck, even that Tar Pit, which is hard to answer.
Although, you know, Ryan's not done a whole lot here, and neither has Spencer, in terms of cards that would warrant removal. So you could kill the Tasigur, and if you pass with 3 cards in your hand, even if Spencer draws Splinter Twin, it's reasonable you could still have a removal spell in your hand that you just haven't felt the compulsion to use yet.
A little too afraid to go for it.
Right. You know, Ryan could easily be sitting on an Abrupt Decay or Path and just be waiting here, you know?
Scavenging Ooze activation. And defense is gone. Ooze will gain a life, grow a little bit larger. Don't have to worry about Lightning Bolt right now, which is nice. With the way that Spencer tapped his mana, so you're free to grow up that Ooze. Make it a 4/4, go up to 15. That's what Roland does. Engineered Explosives the draw. But some real varying casting costs out there.
He gets to set it to 3, I suppose, which is not bad because it shuts off the combo.
Ooze going to come into the red zone. 5/5 because of the Exalted trigger.
Trying to tempt Spencer here into a double block.
Yep. Spencer not biting. And one thing to keep in mind, even though it feels like Garnier has been in control this entire game, it's 15-6.
Yeah, there's been a lot of points off of Phyrexian mana here.
Looks like maybe Inquisition the draw. Gonna fire off the discard spell. Might be a good time to cast that Path to Exile. I guess the question is, what do you want to target with the Path? The way that Spencer tapped his mana, he used a red source. So it leads you to believe that, okay, well, maybe he doesn't have Splinter Twin, or maybe he's trying to trick me.
Yeah, he's got to be really reeling you in here.
Yeah.
But it looks like Roland respects the possibility. And that's one of those things where the tapping of mana is so odd that it almost feels like Garner's trying to rope you in that spot.
So he's going to search up a basic island. Engineer Explosives will be hit by Inquisition. Rolling with just a land left in hand. Garnier going to come down. Looks like there's going to be a chump block here.
Because with Garner's hand here, he has an Exarch here plus the Creeping Tar Pit in play.
Yep.
This is, that tapping of the Blood Crypt, I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I think, I guess Ryan is likely targeting the Pestermite regardless, and if Garner's holding up double red, but Garner definitely values the Tasigur more highly than the Pestermite at this point, given what's in his hand.
That much is clear.
So, a minor success. I suppose Roland is just forced to kill Pestermite in that spot, no matter how the mana gets tapped.
Yeah, because if he kills Tasigur, then he just dies. It'd be a
That
little awkward.
Doesn't look great.
Yeah. You'd have to have a really sharp read on your opponent. Who's going to remove Noble Hierarch, I believe. No, he'll just wait. Roland picked up a copy of Thoughtseize. He'll fire that off right now. Deceiver Exarch will be played. Gonna tap down the Ooze. There goes Snapcaster Animation with Thoughtseize. Roland will lose some life from the Thoughtseize, however. There's Plains pass a turn back.
This game very manageable but for Garnier by chump blocking.
Yep.
I think he actually may have just 10 in play.
But there's a Snapcaster who's on the battlefield.
And one creature in the graveyard.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
there's a Snapcaster there and a Noble Hierarch
Like in
there.
the
So
graveyard, yep.
yeah, it's not over. Spencer thought it may have been over, but it's not over. So now, with how large the Scavenging Ooze is, it is kind of presenting lethal.
Well, I think there's a reasonable sequence here for Garnier to go, even in the worst case scenario, he can fire up the Tar Pit and the Tassiger, leave 2 blockers back to play around a removal spell, and fire in for lethal the following turn.
Well, this is the attack that you liked.
Depends what Garnier drew. If he drew any sort of chump blocker, then you can attack with more than that.
Yeah.
But
7 damage will come across. Rolling at 4. Well, he's looking for a big top deck. Curious as to what it could be. You don't see players rub their hands together unless they've got a pretty good out.
Well, a removal spell here will force a chump block and allow Rolen to gain enough life to be outside of the range of the attack next turn. So he does have some big draws, even though I don't think he has a straight kill in this spot.
Exarch gonna chump block. What's the follow-up? Siege Rhino's pretty good.
That is not bad. That's another thing that pulls him out of lethal here.
Big swing, 7-3 now. Ooze is going to take care of the Exarch. 8-3. Both those creatures are lethal threats right now. Looks like Garnier might have a response. We'll see. All right, Ooze grows up. Draw a card. I believe Jace to go along with an island. Those aren't terribly useful. Tar Pit looks like it wants to fire up. Gotta keep chipping away, I suppose.
So he has Tassiger back on defense. That checks Siege Rhino. Scavenging Ooze doesn't trample, so any blocker will do.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming Rolen does not draw a removal spell, we'll play another turn.
Doesn't draw a Siege Rhino either. Siege Rhino coming in. A little surprising. Yeah, that's an easy block. There's a block. Follow-up. Hierarch. Ooze will take care of the Snapcaster Mage. Rolen will go up to 6. Though there is an active Jace now, so things get a little bit interesting. Kolaghan's Command, I believe, is a draw.
And Kolaghan's Command may do it, as now the Hierarch is something that can be killed.
Now, let's not
I
forget.
don't know if he's got enough mana left over here.
Yeah, his black mana is being taxed in a big way. There's K Command. Gonna shoot that.
You can do that in shock.
But I don't think he can fire up Tar Pit. Oh, he's got to land, okay.
And I don't think there's 3. He needs. Even if there's enough creatures in the graveyard, Rolen doesn't have enough green mana, assuming that he's shocked. Because Rolen can only pull himself up to 6, assuming he went to 4 from the Kolaghan's Command.
Yeah. Not a great attack with the Siege Rhino that turn.
Yeah, the problem with Rolen there is you cannot be bluffing in that spot.
Yeah. Comes a Tar Pit. So yeah, now it's 3-3. Hierarch will get removed. Rolen will gain a life. So clearly he didn't feel like he could attack for lethal, because there is another creature in Roland's graveyard.
Right. I guess it's just an issue of what exactly happened with the Kolaghan's Command on that turn. But yeah, the attack last turn with the Siege Rhino was not great in the face of Tassiger because Garnier has to block, and leaving the Siege Rhino back on defense has a lot of value when Tassiger could have potentially been a lethal attacker.
There's a block with Jace. There's an activation. Snapcaster Mage is going to get turned over.
So I'm not a big fan of the activation there in that spot. I understand Garner's got Snapcaster Mage and other things to do with his graveyard, but with Rolen having Scavenging Ooze in play, there's nothing you can do with your graveyard. And if you flip over a creature there, that's 1 more life.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. He gets to gain 2 more life there, go up to 6. Lightning Bolt still a live draw. He's going to move the other one, so they might make sure they sequence everything right. So now you get your life total update. Rolling up to 6 here. Serum Visions. Gets to scry twice. Dispel and a land. I have to imagine those are both going to the bottom.
And I think Garner missed there. I think he may have drawn a land this turn.
I think so.
Now remember, Tassiger still checks the Siege Rhino, and there's a Creeping Tar Pit in play.
So he still gets to keep playing.
Right, Garner can still chump block out of this turn.
Yeah, he's gotten himself in some trouble here, though.
Yes.
Now Roland's trying to figure out what to do, as we're in turn number 2 of extra turns. Both these players still top 8 eligible. Now turn number 3. Bird of Paradise. A chump blocker, I suppose. It's a risky double attack.
Yeah, this doesn't accomplish anything that wasn't already accomplished by the Scavenging Ooze attacking. I suppose the upshot of this is you force Creeping Tar Pit to block, and now you can kind of chump block, and there's no way for Spencer to sort of punk you out with burn spells. But I think that leaving the Tassiger back as an eligible attacker, where all he has to do now is kill your bird, is pretty risky.
Yeah, now again, there still is a creature in the graveyard for Rolen. Gonna cast, ooh, I would not cast that Thoughtseize. Ooh.
There's just too high of a chance that Garner drew nothing. Because if it was Cryptic Command, he would have just cast that and fogged you.
Yeah.
And if it's a soft counter spell, you don't really care about that. It's just very likely it's a land.
Yeah, if Spencer draws Kolaghan's command now, he's gonna win, because Roland's gonna fall down to 4.
And if you're gonna do that, you should certainly Thoughtseize before attacking.
Yeah.
At least see what's going on.
I think Splinter Twin was the draw. I believe there's an avenue to victory here. Splinter Twin wasn't it, of course.
And
That
now
was
I think there's just two large attackers versus 1 blocker and no removal spells. I suppose Garner has an opportunity here to activate Tassiger or look for help.
Yeah, that's the
find Terminate.
That's the one thing he can do. In a weird way, this ain't over. Let's see if Tassiger can help. Twin, Bolt. Well, I think we know what he's getting. You get a twin.
And that's not, I think now Garner is doomed.
Yes. He'll have to pass the turn back. Ooze will activate. Yeah, because he's been leaving that Noble Hierarch in his graveyard for so long, just to maybe get Spencer to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's up to 5.
Also, I guess he could potentially draw a Tarmogoyf and want to have a creature in the graveyard
Yep.
somewhere, so.
So Roland will draw. Yeah, well, that makes it super easy. Here's a Path to Exile, and that's going to do it. Ryan Roland's going to win this match over Spencer Garner. 2-1. Abzan will take care of Grixis twin, and for Rolen, he can still make the top 8. He moves on to 10-3.
Yeah, it looked like Garnier got off to a great start there, just with all the removal and Snapcaster mages and so forth, but he took a lot of points of damage to do it, and Scavenging Ooze was just something that Garnier couldn't answer.
Well, congratulations, Ryan Rolen.